Have you ever considered calorie counting, but you don't know where to start? Well, here's where you start. Step 1, buy a scale. The scale should have the tare function. Every scale you go to buy in 2021 will have a tare function. Okay, so now you have a scale. What do? Get your slow cooker or Instant Pot, which has a slow cooker setting, and weigh out everything that you put into it. So, if you put some chicken in it, weigh the chicken before you put it in the pot. Make a list of all of the ingredients and their weights that you put into the slow cooker or the pressure cooker or the pan that you go to bake in the oven or the pot that you put on the stove. Whatever, just use the scale, measure out the weights of all of the ingredients. Put those into an app like MyFitnessPal or Lose It or one of the other million apps that exist that let you log ingredients to make recipes. And that will give you the calories for the whole dish. So for example, last night I used my slow cooker to make 6 servings of some random bean dish. I've got 2 more in the freezer and I'm cooking 1 for lunch right now. I just made 6 of these in one go. This is my lunch for like the next week. So anyway, let's say you make a recipe and you fill up the pot. The whole recipe might be 3,000 calories. So if you divide 3,000 by 6, you get 500 calories per serving. So 6 servings at 500 calories each is the 3,000 calories in the pot. So just total up whatever you throw into the pot. Then take your scale. If you want to divide it into 6 portions, then get 6 dishes or 5 dishes plus a plate so that you can reheat whatever portion you're about to eat, which is what I did today. Anyway, take your scale, weigh out how much the pot weighs. So let's say the pot weighs 4,000 grams or whatever. And use a calculator, divide the 4,000 grams. Well, you need the weight of the pot. So if my bowl weighs 844 grams. So take the weight of the whole pot, subtract the weight of the bowl itself. Now you have the weight of the food inside. Divide the weight of the food inside by the number of portions that you want to make. And then take a scale, put your container on the scale, tare it so that it weighs 0, and just put food into the bowl until you get to the weight that it should be per serving. And voila, now you have a serving of a meal that you made that will be exactly the number of calories that you want, that you can put in your fridge or freezer to eat throughout the rest of the week. And then when you go to eat, you don't need to painstakingly count all of the calories that you're eating. You simply say, hey, for today, for lunch, I had a serving of fishy beans, which is literally the name of this recipe that I just made because I decided it would be fun to take a bunch of random canned fish that's in my pantry and just see what it would turn out like. And these are at about 380 calories a serving, which I don't need to have memorized. I don't. It's just that I just made the recipe. So I put an egg on top, which brings it closer to 450 calories or so. So I can't wait to try this and see how it turned out. But anyway, using this method of weighing how much you cook, dividing it into servings so that you get a desirable amount of calories per serving, and then using the weight of the food to divide it into bowls to get portions, makes it stupid easy to count your calories throughout the week. All I have to do is go into my app and say, add a serving of fishy beans. I made the recipe in the app while I was cooking it. I just added ingredients and that made the recipe. And yeah, so throughout the rest of the week, if I decide to have this for lunch or dinner, all I got to do is open my app and go to lunch or dinner and say, add a serving of my custom recipe fishy beans. And I'm sure there's other apps that support this same kind of functionality. And so in this manner, I can go throughout the day without spending pretty much any time at all calorie counting. I did all the calorie counting up front when I was cooking this recipe last night. And it wasn't that difficult. I'll probably make another video on how to calorie count recipes as you cook them, but the TLDR, super summarized explanation, is that it's what I said before. Before you go to add an ingredient to your bowl or your pot or your dish or your pan, just note it down. How much did it weigh, right? How much did you add? And using that information alone, you can determine the calories and nutrition facts from each ingredient, and thus the calories and nutrition facts breakdown of the entire dish that you're putting together. So I'm gonna eat this now because I am hungry.